Today I am actually going to be unboxing a pair of Red Wing Iron Rangers in amber harness. I know, right? Everybody's probably going to be thinking, oh, but what about that video I made? Well, that video I made, I still stand by it. And I actually got these boots because they were factory seconds from Sierra's website. And I would also like to have these boots just so that way I can bring you guys updates on them and also bring you comparisons with other boots. Now don't forget, in that video that I made about why I sold my Iron Rangers a few months ago, I did state that Red Wing is still a good company and still a good option for their Made in America boots. So when people think about heritage boots, usually one of the boots that will usually be the first ones to cross their minds are these boots. Either these or the Mock Toes by Red Wing. But today, I'm going to be talking about this Red Wing Iron Ranger, this in amber harness. It's the 8111 boot, and I got these as factory seconds from Sierra.com. But if you guys have any opinions on Red Wing or Iron Rangers, let me know. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Let me know down in the comments. Alrighty, so the unboxing experience with Red Wing isn't too crazy, just two boots in a box. So let me just show you the boots. I'm sure everyone in the world has heard of Red Wing, has probably seen an Iron Ranger at some point in their life. And so yeah, if you guys haven't heard of Red Wing, they are an American shoe company. They're based out of Red Wing, Minnesota. They were founded back in 1905, so they've been around for a very, very long time. If you haven't seen my past video on the Red Wing Iron Ranger, why I sold one of my pairs, check it out right here. The leather from Red Wing, it comes from the tannery SB Foot, and this tannery, as everybody knows, is owned by Red Wing. The Red Wing's leathers, they are chrome tanned and then they're oil tanned. So really they're a combination tan leather, but they don't use any, at least from my understanding, they don't use the veg tan process. They use a oil tan. But this leather, it is actually, I would say, on the stiffer side. Usually people will first comment on the stiffness and the break-in with these boots. Now I've had quite a few pairs of Red Wings before, and I've never had a problem with break-in. From what I've read online, Red Wing does a pretty not great job sizing their customers in store, and usually recommending a size that's too small, and they're basically telling customers that the boot should be squeezing your foot, and then as you wear it more and more, the leather will stretch to your size. I believe that, you know, when you buy it, you should fit it where whatever you're comfortable with. I can say I like a boot to fit one way, you could like it a different way. Some people like it really snug, some people like a little bit looser. But I would say if you're experiencing a significant amount of pain when you're wearing a boot, you probably got the wrong size. There are leathers and things that do require some break-in. Usually a really thick midsole or insole would require some significant break-in. This leather, it's, like I said, it's on the stiffer side. I don't think it would be any worse than that rust leather that I got from Parkhurst, or even that natural cypress leather that I got from Truman. And so I'm not too worried about the break-ins with Red Wings because I've never had an issue with breaking in Red Wings. So I don't know, let's check out this thickness. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the leather is approximately just over 2.5 millimeters thick, which is actually a really good amount of thickness for a leather. So I would say this leather, it's definitely, I would say, a nice, thick, durable leather. I've always heard and read great things about the durability of Red Wing's leathers. You can see there is some pull up with this leather just because it's packed with so much oils and waxes. Like I said, Red Wing calls this a oil tan leather, but it's a combination tan. It's chrome tan leather, and then they pack it with lots of oils to give it this finish. But I think that the main benefits of this leather being combination tan, you know, chrome tan and then oil tan, is that it's definitely very weather resistant with all those oils and waxes in there. And like I said, I've always heard good things about the overall durability of Red Wing's leathers. They're leathers from SB Foot Tannery. All right, so now let's talk about this last. Okay, so this last from Red Wing, this is called their number 8 last, okay? A lot of people think that this Red Wing Iron Ranger, this is exactly how it was built, or very similarly how it was built. Or, you know, Red Wing built their boots back in, 100 years ago, or during World War I, World War II era. But actually there's quite a bit of changes. It's definitely, I would say, a vintage inspired heritage boot. It's inspired heavily by that classic look from those boots from that era. I've never actually seen like an in-person real life photo of Red Wing boots from the 1930s or 20s or 40s that show exactly, okay, this is how it was built, this is what it looks like it's made out of. But this last, it's definitely on the slimmer side. You can see like the heel and the waist are definitely got this nice slimmer, sleek look to it. Whereas this toe box, it's definitely got a rounder toe box. Whereas Red Wing boots back in that time period of like 1920s, 30s, 40s, they had a very Munson inspired last. At least that's what I can tell from the catalogs that I've seen from that time period. They even say in the catalog it's a Munson last. And so this last, it's definitely on the rounder side and it's on the slimmer side. But like I said, this heel and this waist, definitely on the slimmer side. And then you have this round toe box. But also if you look at the volume, there's actually a good amount of volume, which is I think what makes this boot just look really cool looking, because you have this slim, kind of like sleek overall shape to the, the outline. But then you have a nice high volume boot that can really accommodate, a bunch of different foot shapes and sizes. And then you could also notice that it has like this bump toe. So that's another, iconic feature or distinguishing feature of this last, is that it definitely has a more bulbous toe. Some people call it a clown toe. And if you look at the cap toe, it actually comes down further than a lot of boots. You can see, look, that's how low the cap toe comes down. Whereas on most boots, the cap toe would probably be like close to here. Where at Red Wing, they definitely make it a really long cap toe. It gives this bulbous toe an even chunkier look and feel to it. And that's a true cap toe. So that is an actual second layer of leather over the vamp layer of leather. So again, it's a callback to how these boots were made, a long time ago, and also gives it that cool heritage look to it. So these Iron Rangers, these are Goodyear welted boots. You can see they're 270-degree Goodyear welted boots. You can see the welt starts here, goes around, and then ends right here. So these are 270-degree Goodyear welted boots. You can even see the stitching here on the bottom. These boots, they don't have a midsole. These are built on Vibrum's 430 mini lug sole. I know it kind of looks like it's a unit sole, but it actually is not a unit sole. This is a full sole, and then this is a heel cap. But obviously they make it look like it's one piece because it's finished very similarly. You can't really see the break in it, but if you look closely, you can see the heel cap. So Red Wing boots, they don't have a leather midsole. They just have the cork layer filling that fills the cavity created by this Goodyear welt. Inside the boot, they have a thick, I think it's a 5mm veg tan insole, and then they have this little sock liner. It's a little half sock liner that only covers the heel portion. So you can see this tongue. It is gusseted just up until under this 5th eyelet, so that's nice. You got 4 eyelets and you got 3 speed hooks. These speed hooks, they're nickel plated, and they're not the strongest, most durable speed hooks, but I've never had a problem with these speed hooks bending on me, though if I did squeeze them hard enough, I probably could bend them, but I've never had one rip out on me or bend on me. They can be a little sharp here on the back, which can dig into the tongue and tear the tongue leather. That's why a lot of people wear kilties with these. But another thing about these boots is that they do use a steel shank, which just gives the boot support right here, where the under this area that's not touching the ground. Here, let's take a look at this pair. Another cool thing that Red Wing does, or one of the features of their boots, is that if you look at the stitching, you can see there's 3 rows of stitching here and here. on the quarters, and you can see that there's the 2 outer rows of stitching are black, and then the inner middle one is white, and they call it a Puritan stitch. And so that's a feature of Red Wing's heritage boots, is they do a Puritan stitch it adds to the durability. But another cool thing is that you can see actually a layer of wax on these rows of stitching, and as the machine is stitching the boot, it's dipping the thread in wax just to give it a little bit more water resistance. It's a cool feature. It's a classic way that Red Wing has made their boots for a long time, and so that's just something that they do on their heritage boots. The overall build quality, honestly, I don't even know why these were seconds, just because I'm trying to look to see if there was like anything that's obvious that sticks out to me on these boots, and I really don't see anything. Maybe like there's like any cracking or tearing or a loose grain. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see any obvious glaring mistakes that would say, okay, that's why these boots are factory seconds. So I really shouldn't go too in depth on the finishing of these boots, because it wouldn't be fair to Red Wing, because these are labeled as factory seconds, and I shouldn't hold that against Red Wing. But if you go on other people's videos, go online and see other reviews, it's pretty common. Red Wing's finishing, they're not the best in terms of finishing quality on their boots. But again, these aren't, $1,000 Vibergs. I don't think Red Wing is going for that classy, Alden, refined look. But I think that for the price, you are getting a pretty good amount of quality for the overall price. Do I think there's better values out there? Yeah, of course there's better values out there, but these are American-made heritage boots, and for the price, these are not only iconic, but they're high quality. And I'm not, like I said, I wouldn't ever recommend to work in these boots. I think these are style boots, they're heritage boots, dare I say fashion boots, but they are durable. I think they're using quality materials, and so I think that for what you get, it's a nice solid boot. Here they are. These are a size 10D. I knew these would fit just because I've worn Iron Rangers before. This is the size that I always wear. I'm a 10.5D on the Brannick, and so I go at the 10D, and these actually, like I said, these fit great. I can actually feel my waist being hugged pretty nicely. Arch support is average, just like any average service boot. Toe box, I think, is on the roomier side. Lengthwise, I have enough length and probably a little bit extra space in front of my toes. My toes like right here. Widthwise, it's definitely not on the wider side in terms of wide toe boxes, but it is a pretty roomy toe box. So I actually like the fit of these. They're not my favorite fitting last, but these 10Ds, they fit me great. There's definitely quite a bit of heel slip just because the upper's leather, that insole is all really stiff, and so as I break these in more and more, they should feel more and more comfortable and get more and more flexible. So overall comfort, I would say it's okay. The Red Wing Iron Rangers that I've had in the past, I thought were actually pretty comfy, overall, because because you don't have a midsole and a really thick outsole, it actually kind of makes the boot lighter and more flexible. So that's one benefit with not having a midsole or a really chunky outsole. But still, you have a really thick slab of veg tan leather for that insole. So do I have any concerns? No, I just know that as I wear these more and more, it'll start to crease here, and you'll get a double bump from this toe cap meeting the vamp. It's not the prettiest looking. I mean, I don't really care, but it can be a little bit ugly. And SB Foot's leathers, they're good, rugged, durable leathers. Do I love them? No, but it's still a good quality leather. And I think that for these boots, I'm gonna probably try and break them in, beat them up for work, wear them for casual use, and I'll bring you guys updates. So if you guys have any feedback or any questions, yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, that's everything I have for you guys today. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.